Now, this question on public finance, that is August 2024, question 25, we are going to apply what we've learned in Excel, the knowledge that we've gathered since we started, and see how we can use that knowledge to solve a few questions. The question reads, owing to public outcry on the implementation of various projects across the country, the National Treasury of your country has provided data relating to project implementation in the past 4 years. The dataset comprises project focus areas, that is from column A to B, bank data on project column E to G, project detailed breakdown column J onwards. An economic watchdog organization has approached you to help analyze the data for the purpose of making meaningful deliberations on the data provided. The data is in the next Excel sheet labeled question 25 data. Now this is question 25 data and the data is here. This is the data that they are talking about, question 25 data. Now, the bank statement amounts column shows the disbursement to the project IDs. That is a note. Required. Using relevant formulas or functions, that is A, Roman 1, fill the appropriate data to the blank columns M, R, U, V, and W. Calculate the number of power connectivity projects implemented, the total amount of money disbursed by the National Treasury, the average budget of social services projects in Nandi County. Number B, create a pivot summaries of the budget allocated per project, the amount disbursed per project focus item, the project cost and administration cost trend showing years and months. Then C, with the summaries in B above, create appropriate visualization with the below focus message, the budget allocated per project, comparison, the amount disbursed per project, proportionality, project cost and administration cost trend showing years and months. They want a trend. Now comparison means you use a column chart. Proportionality, you can use a pie chart. This one, trend, you can use a line chart. If you want to show a trend, then you can use a line chart. But these things we've done all of them in what we've been doing in the past. Now go to where your answer should be. Question 25, data. Question 25, data. This is our data. And I don't know whether it was initially formatted as a table or I did that, but you can see it's formatted as a table now. It's now formatted as a table, except this other part which is not formatted as a table. We'll be doing that. Now this project, we have these projects, then the project focus. So project and project focus. There is project ID, a date, disbursed amount. You can see that. Then now where do they end? Control and down arrow key. This one goes up to 4,500. So it's 4,500. So this is big data indeed. So control up arrow key takes you back. Then we have this other part. We also have this other part. Project ID, where does it end? So ID, date, project focus, financial, county, household impacted, the budget, the disbursed amount, the project cost, admin cost, disbursement balance, project variance, and we also have the variance. Now don't worry, these ones were not there. I included these ones on when doing the solution, then they were not in the paper. This one were added later, so don't think you'll have this. Now, where does this end? Control down arrow key. Now this one goes a step ahead. It's now not 4,000. It's moving all the way to 6,367. You cannot select these things like this. It will take your time. So you can only select using the keyboard shortcuts. So control up arrow key. First question. I've summarized the questions on this side. So I've summarized the questions here. A was using relevant formulas or functions, fill the appropriate data to the blank columns M, R, U, V, and W. Now column W, there are two ways. You can use VLOOKUP, you can use XLOOKUP, you can use index and match. Let us go and see what is in column M. So move aside and go to column M. This is column M. What is now for the project focus? Look at this. How do we get this is the project. This is the project, and they want you to know the project focus. The longest way to do it, you can see project focus. The answers are here. Now the answers are here. Relief aid is service, social services. Medical is social services. Farm tools and implements is agriculture. Road and construction is agriculture. So if you have all the time in the world, then you can just say higher learning is, if you want, higher learning is education. So you just check and confirm that it's education. Seeds and fertilizer is agriculture extension. So please, you can do that from the first one to the last one, which is 6,000. You check and confirm if indeed it's correct. If you have all the time in the world, you can do that. But to save your time, we go for VLOOKUP. So we've done VLOOKUP and we want to apply it here. VLOOKUP. So that will be equal sign, then VLOOKUP, tab, VLOOKUP, under project focus. Now the lookup value, the first lookup value is higher learning. So click on higher learning. The first here is higher learning. Don't lock that. Don't lock that because there are so many, cannot lock. Comma. Then table array, your table array. Where is our table array? This side. You can see this. This is our table array. Select from project to project focus up to here, up to this area. There is no need of locking, or even if you lock, nothing will happen. Is there a need for locking? No, because it's a table, it will just keep that text. Then column, comma. Now, what are you searching for? What is the column index number? You want it to return project, or you are using the project name, you can see higher learning, so that you get what? The project focus. So it is number 2 or 1? 2. So that is number 2. So the column number is number 2, comma. Then you go for exact match. Then close those brackets and enter. That will give you education. Do you think higher learning is education? Exactly. Now I realize that I would have started by formatting this data as a table, because if the data is formatted as a table, so once you have that, double click and it will give you the all the other answers. Now the answers are up to down. You can see a Control Shift down arrow key, and you have the other. It's all the way to the last one. So Control up arrow key. So it will force you to drag. So before we proceed, now you can format as a table. You click anywhere inside, then under styles, format as table, pick any style, then OK, click on OK. Now it will be formatted as a table. The others are already formatted as a table. So it's only this one that we now formatted as a table. Now, number B, or the second part, is that fill the appropriate data to the blank columns M, R. We are now moving to R. Now for R, you also use VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP or index and match. We can just go for VLOOKUP, column R. What do they want in R? This is R, disbursed amount. Disbursed amount. How do we get disbursed amount? disbursed amount. Now, when doing disbursed amount, let us see what will help us to get the disbursed amount. Here it is, the blue one. You based on the project ID. So you can use the project ID to get the disbursed amount. So if you come to this other table, do we have the project ID? They are here. So we'll be using this project ID and we do VLOOKUP with the blue table so that we can get the disbursed amount. So move back to column R here, then equal sign, VLOOKUP, tab. Now the lookup value, move across. The lookup value is the project ID here in column J, the first project ID in column J. That is the lookup value. Don't worry about what you see here, it's okay, because the data has been formatted as a table. Then comma. What is the table array? After the lookup value, you do the table array, so scroll across. The blue table, the second blue table here. Click on project ID, then Control Shift right arrow key, then again Control Shift down arrow key. As you do that, they want the disbursed amount. Disbursed amount is number what? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that will be Control Shift down arrow key to select. Then comma. Then now number 3. Just say number 3 here. The column number is 3. Then comma. The exact match. Close bracket. And enter. If you do that, all the answers are popping up, but with some hash. Why? Those are empties, it seems. It seems there is no amount that has been disbursed under that. No amount has been disbursed under these scenarios. So not available for some cases. You double click on 24 and 25, the first answer here. Then after the equal sign, you just say if error. If error. You will see the function here for if error. You double click on it. Now if error, don't interfere with the other things. Then go to the end of the formula, then say comma. Then if error, the answer should be 0. If error, the answer should be 0 now. You can see that if error, then at the end, the answer should be 0. Enter, and all of those things should be cleared now. So if error, the answer is 0. Or you can decide and say, if error, you just leave it empty. If error, you leave it empty. That will also be just empty. The same question. Let us use 0, and that is it. So if error, the answer is 0 instead of the not available thing. So, editing a bit, especially this second part. The other part looks good. So start with the here. Date. Look at date. Column K. Point on column K. Point on column K just once. Column K. This is date. And go to the number part here. Where you see number, click on the arrow and select date. Short date. These are dates. So you just click the entire column, go to under number, the arrow, then select short date. Something else? Of course, household impacted is okay. Look at the budget. Budget, column Q, select the entire of it. Column Q, go to the number area, click on the arrow, and select number. You can go for number. At least it comes with, or you can use comma style. Just use comma style by clicking on this comma. Looks good with the values. We've not used the comma style. Okay, that's fine. Got the disbursed amount. Column R, select everything and use comma style. That is comma style. Go to the project cost, the entire one, use comma style. Admin cost, also use the comma style. Okay, that is all. Now the data looks good with the comma style. Of course, don't do that for household impacted. It will not look good. Now, the other part, column U. Column U, use, they are saying Q minus R. Where is column U? Disbursed balance. Look at the disbursed balance. Disbursement balance. How much has not been disbursed? Now that will be budget minus disbursed amount. So the budget minus disbursed amount gives you the disbursed balance. That is easy. Equal sign, budget minus disbursed amount. Budget minus disbursed amount. Enter. You get the disbursement balance. You get the disbursement balance. That was easy. Then you can see column V. Column V. That is Q minus S plus T. That is column V. They want project variance. What is the project variance? So that is the budget minus, in bracket, project cost plus admin cost. The budget plus the total of project cost plus admin cost. That is equal sign. Budget is this, minus, open bracket, take the project cost plus the admin cost. Project cost plus the admin cost. Now, if you are seeing those instead of cell references, then it means our data is formatted as a table. It helps a lot to format data as a table. There is no dragging of things down. Once you enter, you get the entire answers. Now, the project variance is there. And I believe others are negatives, others are positives. If I want to convert this to a nice format, like if I'm on the first one, you can do this comma style. Comma style. Just select comma style. On the first one, then comma style. Yeah, comma style. Now, the first is W. Now for W, we'll be using the if statement. Yeah, they want the variance status. You use the if statement. You remember us doing the if statement. If the variance is positive, is it adverse or favorable? What if the variance is negative? Now they are saying if the budget, like in this case, admin cost is 149, it means the budget is enough. So if the budget is enough to cover the admin cost and disbursement, then what happens? Favorable. Favorable. But if the budget is not enough, like if you are taking budget minus project minus admin is negative, then it means it's adverse. You under budget. So we want to do the if statement here. Equal sign if tab, equal sign if tab. If the project variance here, so you click on 1,338,000, this is the project variance, is greater than 0. If that is greater than 0, if the project variance is greater than 0, comma, then since it's a set statement, you do double quotation and say favorable. 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 That will be favorable. You can close those brackets. Otherwise, it will be adverse. Otherwise, it will be adverse. Then close the quotations again. Close the quotations. Then close the bracket. Yeah. So if that is greater than 0, favorable. If not, adverse. Enter, and you can clearly see the variance status. Some are favorable and some are adverse. So calculate the number of power connectivity projects implemented. We are going to use a count if, and you can check here. The projects are this. Where do we find power connectivity? On the, is it focus or project? Project column L. So you are supposed to count all power connectivity projects in column L. Now it looks easier because I've already found one. So this is one. So I should do that up to number 6,000. That is hectic. We use count if. So we are going to use count if. And how do we apply count if in getting the power connectivity projects? Now, my answer is here at that particular place. The number of power connectivity projects implemented. Power connectivity projects. If, count if, count if. That will be equal sign. Count if, then tab. Count if. Now range, then criteria. So drag across, so equal sign count if. I'm going to drag across. And I'll find where there are those things. Click on any power connectivity under column L. So column L, if you see power connectivity, now count if, count if. So click on any power connectivity, there it is, any of them, comma. Then what is the range? Now the range, click on project under column L, just click on this project. Then Control Shift down arrow key, the Control Shift down arrow key. That way, and close bracket and enter. Enter. Okay, that one has also given me a funny answer. So I'll undo and do again. I think I needed to lock something. So we start that again. Equal sign, equal sign, count if, tab. So count if, or we start with the range, then criteria. Range, then criteria. So equal sign count if, then drag across. Now start with the range. So under column L, you can just click on higher learning, no problem. Higher learning, higher learning. Click on higher learning, then Control Shift down arrow key. Control Shift down arrow key, then comma. Look for, was it power connectivity? Now scroll and find any power connectivity. Any of them. Mahali utapata moja, you click on it. Power connectivity. Power connectivity. I can't see. Power connectivity. If you find any, you click on it, because that is the criteria now. It seems like fast, but you scroll until you find power connectivity. Must be far. I've passed it. So if you find, click on it. I'm still looking for one. Power connectivity. I can scroll. I can use this to move up. I saw one up the top. This here. Power connectivity. You click on it. That power connectivity. Close bracket and enter. Enter. Now 630 becomes your answer. 630. The total amount of money disbursed by the National Treasury, use sum. That will be equal sign. Sum. Then tab. Sum. Then we are summing column R. So click on the first one. Control. So under column R, click on 24,125. Then Control Shift down arrow key. Close the bracket and enter. So the total amount disbursed was 175,961 and 143. So 175,961,143. That is the total amount of money disbursed. You sum column R. I hope you can sum using sum. Finally, for the day, the average budget of social services projects in Nandi County. Average budget of social services projects in Nandi County. We use average ifs, not if, but average ifs, because there are two conditions. They want the average of social services projects, but in Nandi County. The average of the budget of social services projects in Nandi County. So you'll do equal sign average ifs, not if, ifs, average ifs tab, because there is more than one criteria. Then average range, what are you averaging? They are averaging the budget. So you average the budget, so you move across. Budget is here, column Q. Click on 1,505,000. This one, then Control Shift down arrow key, comma. Now after that, there is that formula here. After, you can see it is somewhere upper chini. After the average range, and you've done the comma, they want criteria 1. Now criteria 1 was something to do with the social services in Nandi County. I can move up. I want to move up using this scroller. You can just click and move up on the right. Social services. Social services is under what? Social services is under project or project focus? Project focus. So under project focus, column M, click on education. Education. Then Control Shift down arrow key, comma. Then they want social services. So click anywhere you see social services. This is social services. That is the third last. So click on this. That is just the first condition or criteria. So comma. Criteria 2 was Nandi County. Nandi County. So you can scroll up. We'll repeat this. So county, click on Lamu. Just click on Lamu. Then Control Shift down arrow key. Which county? Lamu. So look for it was Nandi. Nandi. So I'm looking for Nandi. Where is Nandi? Nandi. Oh, Nandi is here. Any Nandi, just click on it because that is the criteria. Close bracket, and that should give us the answer. So the answer for that is 1,499,940 as our average budget of social services in Nandi County by using average ifs.